hope this is working. I hope the audio isn't too crazy. I hope the video isn't crazier. The thing that I'm about to do is I'm about to go to Fabian's crib. We're gonna go hook up and do Idle Talk minis. But if I clip that out of context, it's gonna be brazy. So we're gonna go there. It's only a 23-minute drive today. So I've got this weird car setup where I'm using my iPad with our microphones. That's why we kind of got these microphones to kind of be multi-dynamic. And I did get a camera rig for the car, but while I was driving to the gas station, not more than like 5 minutes away from my house, the roads were bumpy here, so the rig was shaking, but I was concerned. I'm like, how is the camera going to handle it when it's recording? So hopefully it's able to handle it. And if the audio doesn't pick up for some reason, and we'll just use the camera audio, which is going to suck. But I have it set up this way. It can rotate easily. So when Fabian gets in, we'll have to see if this angle is still a good angle for both of us. Because if I have it in the middle, and if we plan on driving, like, I feel like in the middle it's going to be like illegal, borderline illegal. Like on the side it's like okay because it's not obstructing anything. So we'll see how that goes. I guess I'll yacht for 21 minutes straight. I got a Stanley Cup courtesy of my friend Jalen. All I had to do was get a new straw, and we were good to go. This shit was borderline brand new. And the thing is like, as soon as I went to use it the first day, I dropped it like right outside my job, like immediately, and it like scratched up one of the handle pieces. So, it is what it is. I'm just a boy. See, and this is why. See, you can see how easily that turns though, right? So I still have to figure out how to tighten that up. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how to do that. But you're just gonna have to go with the vibes. If the camera turns, it turns. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But yeah, it's one of those things, man, where it's just like we're learning as we go, to be honest. And I thought it was gonna be more sunny. We'll figure it out, to be honest. We'll figure out what we're gonna do. I kind of like this angle now, though. This angle looks better. I don't know how it'll look like in the YouTube when I go to edit it, because sometimes I have to fix the angle in post, which makes clips hard. So fun fact, that's why if you noticed, there was one episode that we did where Fabian he broke out on his right side of his face, I think, and so he made me switch chairs with him. He looked at me from the entire other side of his face, just showing the camera, and so that was weird editing that. I'm just like, fuck it, I gotta figure this out. Like, it wasn't working. Like, the YouTube came out perfect, the YouTube video, where like the way it was framed, it was awesome. But when it was making the Instagram clips, that's when it was a problem. See, look at that. See, it's shaking, and that's worrying me a little bit, not a lot. It's not gonna fall. It's for sure not gonna fall, but it's just like keeping it in motion. Maybe when Fabian's here, he could kind of like maneuver it out. The problem with this, though, I'm noticing, is that the camera is having a hard time picking up light changes. So that could be a different issue all in itself, too. My iPad's still recording. Awesome. Maybe if come on, refocus me. So I don't know. I have to keep everything on auto, and sometimes auto takes a little bit of time to fix everything. So we'll see how that goes, to be honest. Even in Fabian's room, I think whoever, because he got a remodel in his crib, fun fact, if you didn't know. But one of those lights, I think they're not good. And sometimes some of the clips would be brighter, sometimes some of the clips would be darker, and it's literally just because I think it low-key flickers to where you can't notice, like, as a human being, but the camera picks it up. So I told him about that. I was like, yo, I think they gypped you on your new room. So he will technically sit right here. So this is the angle the camera rotated us to. So I would have to rotate a little bit back, cutting me back a little bit out of it and keeping him in it, which is a compromise I think he's willing to do. This has been the most engaged I've ever been driving, which is, I think it's something that I need, to be honest, because sometimes I will zone out and I'll get to a destination and I'll be like, how the fuck did I get here? Like anybody that drives, Fabian won't know. Anybody that drives, though, I feel like can relate to that in one way or another. Like, because I'm so used to going to the same destinations. Like, I know exactly how to get to Fabian's house, but I just need to know if there's any traffic, any construction, any closures. So that's why I put it on the map, and so that's the sole reason why I have that there. But I zone out. I sometimes get to my destinations and I'm like, how the fuck did I get here? And I'm surprised. Thank God. I've been blessed and nothing crazy has happened like while I do that. It's not like I'm not paying attention on the road. Sometimes I just I'll have an hour drive and then I'll blink and it's 20 minutes left on the drive and I'm like, okay, how do we do all that? Sometimes it's a straight line. You put this shit on cruise control. You just literally cruise and vibe out to music. I'll sing my little heart out in here. Overall, I think the car is just a good experience to do things. Speaking about doing things, we're going to transition. A lot of things upcoming for me and Fabian. I tried to get him to go to a soccer game. May the 4th, Star Wars soccer night. I forgot which one of those newer New York teams that we have. They're having a Star Wars night, so I was like, yo, we should just go. It's in Citi Field, whichever team plays there. He didn't want to go. He said sports doesn't interest him at all. I thought it'd just be a vibe. Just drink a little, get the shitty seats, and then get a free Star Wars pin. Didn't interest him at all. But what we have coming up is, I think we were on our way back from the gym one day, and this is probably a great thing now that I have this because we can capture more things. But I was like, yo, we should go to a Jessie Reyez concert if she goes on tour, because he invited me to a Kid Cudi concert as as a filler. No offense, I don't take that offensively, but I was like, you know what, I want to take you to Jessie Reyez concert because I want to go and I don't want to go by myself. I went to a few things of hers by myself, but I'm like, I want to bring Faber and I want to see what he's like, so how he experiences it. So we've got tickets to Jessie Reyez July 1st. So if you're gonna go, see, I hit a big ass pothole low key and that shit kind of shook. But if you're gonna go, all right, stop moving, camera. But if you're gonna go, we're gonna be there on the balcony. Say what's up if you're gonna be there. I don't know how many of you listen to Jessie Reyez. I feel like that's still niche in this world that I've got going on. But we're gonna be there July 1st. It's gonna be part of my birthday celebration. I don't really celebrate my birthday, but that's what I'm gonna do in lieu of celebrating my birthday. Go to that concert. A few more, I guess, things to yap about. We've got about 16 minutes left on this drive. I'm not hydrated whatsoever, so my lips are dry. I'm drinking my water, making my way downtown, driving at the speed limit. Anywho, NFL draft, just a few things that are on my mind. Chad Ochocinco, aka Chad Johnson, he played for the Cincinnati Bengals a while ago, and he had a pretty interesting quote that he read on his podcast with Shannon Sharpe, which, if you don't know who Shannon Sharpe is, you're going to find out, because he recently signed a $100 million contract and is being sued for $50 million. So, literally the day after he signed that shit, he started getting sued. So that's pretty insane, if you ask me. Some, sexual allegations brought up against him. He says he's innocent. He brought out the receipts. So we'll see where that ends up going. He's taken a step away from ESPN for now. He used to be on, what's his name? Stephen A. Smith's show. He was the second host for that show, pretty much. So we'll see how these things end up developing. But on their podcast, they have their own separate podcast outside of ESPN work he does. So they have a podcast, and I think it's either he was on Club Shay Shay or Chad and him have a separate podcast. I don't really be listening to it. I just be watching clips on Instagram or X or Threads. Lately, I've been on the Threads kick for some reason. This is where I saw this clip, and he was like that. Shedeur Sanders, right? So he's Deion Sanders' son. I almost said Barry Sanders, but that would be crazy. So he's Deion Sanders' son, and he's been in the league historically one of the greatest players of all time. Acts like one of the greatest players of all time, but not in a humble way. He's kind of paved the way for his sons and overall the players that he's coached as well. But he said that oftentimes NFL owners, NFL general managers, when you get there into the draft room, and they want you to kind of ask for the seat at the table, right? They're like, oh, please give us a seat at the table, please, we're gonna do this, we're gonna come in, blah 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 blah. You're just leaving college, you're still a young kid, you have these great athletic abilities. But he was like that people like Deion Sanders and who already been at the table, right? Now they're going to bring their own chair, right? They did that process before. They're going to bring their own chair. They're not going to ask for a seat at the table. They're just going to bring a seat at the table. And that's what they kind of allege, that NFL owners don't like that, because it is really, to be honest, it's giving plantation owner vibes, like, to the max now. Like, before with the Colin Kaepernick stuff, it's like, all right, he's washed. He's not that good of a player. It's not that big. It's not worth the headache. And the owners were just colluded among themselves. Like, don't even worry about it. We're not going to sign him. Nobody sign him, and then we won't have this headache on our hands, right? Kaepernick won a lawsuit against the NFL, proving that that was indeed the case, that they did do that. But now we're doing it on the other end, where it's Deion Sanders' son, arguably a great athlete. You could debate if he's going to be a good quarterback or not, but you cannot deny that he's a great athlete. And sometimes, great athletes become good quarterbacks, or even great quarterbacks, or even, amazing, super top 10 of all time quarterbacks. But I feel like it didn't help his chances to be drafted early on, because of, probably how the NFL owners feel about his dad. Because, again, his dad already has been at the table. And he now just wants his son to be there automatically, without giving them that, I guess, satisfaction of, like, hey, I'm here to earn my seat. And Deion's more like, no, we've already earned our seat. We're bringing our own chair, and it's going to be better than your chair. So that's pretty strange. Not strange. I don't want to say it's on brand for the NFL to do something like that, but it is, in a way. Like, it is something the NFL would do. So, it's unfortunate that they have to do that, and they have to act that way to up-and-coming talent. And it's unfortunate that that's going to be the biggest story for the next 5 to 10 years. So he did get drafted today, yesterday, so I guess on the third day of the NFL draft, maybe the fourth day. I don't know if they have a fourth day, like, officially, but I know it's day 1 is the first round. Day 2, I think, rounds 2 and 3, and then day 3 is the rest of the rounds, if I'm remembering it correctly. So he was taken in the 5th round by the Cleveland Browns, and 5 or 6 quarterbacks taken up in front of him, and I think that is going to leave a tarnish on all their legacies. Like, hey, you were one of the quarterbacks taken in front of Shedeur Sanders, and you sucked, right? You have this, like, expectation, because you were taken in front of him, to be the best quarterback you can be. The only person that doesn't have those expectations, I would think, is Cam Ward, who was taken first overall, because that comes with a whole other set of expectations. Like, how many times in NFL history have there been first overall quarterbacks chosen, as the first pick, and they didn't pan out? They didn't really do anything, right? That's because you're going to the absolute worst team you could go to, and it would be a little difficult to succeed in those environments. But so he's got his own battles. He's got to fight his own uphill trials and tribulations he's got to go through. But draft ending and him going to the Cleveland Browns, when his father famously tweeted, if I was a young quarterback going to the Cleveland Browns, I would pull a Eli Manning and not want to go there. So karma, full circle, full swing, doing what it does, and it does it the best that anybody could do so. So interesting, developing story out of the NFL draft. We'll see what it's like. We'll see what the aftermath is. We'll see if the NFL gets accused of anything. We'll see what Deion has to say. As of what's today? I think today's Sunday, the 29th, or whatever this date is. He hasn't said anything. The 27th, Sunday the 27th. He hasn't released a statement. He hasn't said anything about it yet. At least noteworthy that the media has picked up and kind of blown out of proportion. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how this unfolds. We'll see what the beginning of the season is like. The Browns need a quarterback. The Browns gambled with Deshaun Diddy Watson, and it didn't work out. He hasn't played a significant amount of games for the money they were signed him for, and he was a good enough guy to restructure the contract to where he doesn't really get paid much anymore. So that's good for the Browns, and I guess he just grateful that he got paid that amount of money anyway. So Deshaun Diddy Watson out of Cleveland for the, I guess forever now, because he's going to be hurt again this year, even though he hasn't had any contact since maybe like 2022, which is absurd to keep a guy that long. But you know what they say, if you got those Diddy connections, people keep around longer than you deserve, I guess. But Cleveland needs a quarterback. They took another quarterback before that too, So we'll see. Oh, this guy's just gonna merge without it being his turn. All right, let's talk about Fallout, the show on Amazon. I just finished watching that, and I've heard so many great things about that show and about that game in general sometimes. And 12 Emmys or whatever it said it won, and it's well deserved, to be honest, because that show was fucking crazy. Like, I have no idea what that world was. I didn't really play the games. I wasn't really interested in those games. I never really had access to those games. For that's the biggest part of that too. Like, I I recently started playing video games, like console video games, when the PlayStation 4 came out. I had an Xbox for a while, and if you're from a Hispanic household, if it ain't broke, you're not getting anything new. So I had that Xbox like well into like PS3 era, and I just played the same game on it. I played like the Hulk video game for like 100 hours or more. Like, I played that game forever, longer than you needed it to. Like, I got good at all the levels, like everything was accomplished with that game. And for the longest time, I only had the demo to that game, so I only played the same level for that amount of time too. So that just goes to show you that, like, in my household, it was like, if it wasn't broken and you didn't need to change it, my mom didn't want to change it, you just gotta settle for the full game this time instead of the fucking demo. So that was interesting. So I just started playing console video games for PS4. That's when I had my own money and I could do whatever I wanted with that money. Like, I had a summer job, I was a camp counselor, and I was making a decent amount of money for the time, especially being in high school, having no major bills, no credit cards. So I bought my PS4 after like my first 2 checks at the summer camp. So I didn't really get to play the Fallout games because I didn't really know what they were. So watching the show, the world building that they did, I think was great. I was immersed in it. I was like caught up in the scenery, and oftentimes like I was just like, what is that? What is this? Like, how did we get here? What are they doing? So it was interesting to kind of just this is the feeling that I feel like people who are watching The Last of Us for the first time, who haven't played the video game, this is the feeling they're having. And so I can't relate to those people when it comes to The Last of Us, but I can relate to the people when it comes to this show, Fallout. So their lead, I forgot what her government name is, but I know her from Yellow Jackets, and I know her from other shows because of Yellow Jackets. So I've seen her in other projects, and I think she's just great. Terrific as an actress. I think that core group that was introduced to the world, I guess, via Yellow Jackets, like her alongside like Sophie Thatcher and other like amazing actresses that they have on that show. I mean, they're those guys. I've been saying this for forever. This is like a broken clock. That group of young talented ladies are the future, pretty much. So cinema is gonna have another strong 20-year run. It's been carried so far by people like Leo DiCaprio and Margot Robbie, even Robert Downey Jr. sometimes, so Chris Evans, guys like that. But it's time, I think, we'll see them off in the sunset pretty soon. Chris Hemsworth too. We'll see him off in the sunset pretty soon, and then we'll have that next class of actresses. And I think even Tom Holland, he's in that weird middle ground, but he'll be here for a long time. But back to Fallout, I enjoyed that show, that whole season. It was a solid for me, 8.5 out of 10, just because I don't know anything about that world beforehand. So I feel like if I may have played the game, or if I may have known about it, and if I even knew maybe like 10% of what was happening beforehand, I would probably understand and know a lot more things. Like, I would comprehend it even better than I do currently. But man, that's the way the season finale ended. I mean, like, it was just like amazing that what's her name? Lucy McLean. She's the main character, right? She tells, I think his name's Maximus. He's like the knight guy who faked being a knight, and he just killed his knight, and he was a squire, and he became him. He called himself Titus for the longest time. But she tells him, she's like, okay, come find me. And then he gets the Brotherhood. They're gonna go invade this place. He's like, because I want to go get her. I want to go find her. And then he finds her. And then something happens with her dad. He betrays everybody. She learns his true colors. She learns a little bit of the story that we've kind of been piecing together via flashbacks for the whole season. And it didn't hit me until one of the antagonists in the end kind of like says it for you. And I was like, oh shit, that's making a lot of sense. And even though we got the flashbacks, it took I feel embarrassed to say this, it took until that girl verbatimly told me that what was happening, that I understood what was happening. So that was unfortunate for me, at least, because I feel like I was paying attention. But I did watch this season rather strangely. I did start this is the same thing I did with Reacher, to be honest. I started episode 1 for some reason, so when I went into my Amazon, it was like halfway done, but I don't remember like what the episode was about. So I had to go back, restart the episode, and then I watched it, and I watched half of episode 2, waited a couple of days, then I had to go watch it, watch where I picked up from episode 2. So it took me like 9 weeks to watch this show, even though it was readily available to me, because it's been so many months. So I'm super excited for season 2. I don't know any news about season 2, but I know that at the end of the episode for the season finale, she tells Titus, Lucy, she's like, I'm gonna find you. And I was like, oh shit, I don't know, I'm a sucker. I thought that was sweet. I thought that was beautiful. And that I was like, damn, that's kind of cute. You a real ass bitch for that. And he came back and he took a punch to the face from a robotic mech suit. And she was like, wake up. I'm like, girl, he's gonna be out for like 10 business days. He ate that shit to the face and didn't die. When clips previously, we've seen if one of those robots get their hands on you, your head is gonna explode. So 8.5 for that season. I enjoyed it. I don't have any complaints, just because I have nothing to complain about. It's not like The Last of Us where I have many complaints, and I'm gonna bring those up to favorite. I don't know if he would want to talk about it in the car. We're gonna see. I'm gonna see if he likes this angle. He probably won't. I'm probably gonna park and then go bring some stuff upstairs. But this has been pretty much, we're 5 minutes out. That was crazy. We're 5 minutes out. That was a huge ass pothole. I don't know why they would put it right there. But really, why do potholes spawn in? But we're 5 minutes out. Oh. Dog, you should see this fucking street. Because what the fuck is happening here? I mean, I could rotate you guys and then show you the street going to his house. But steel plating ahead. Oh, great. Okay, more things to fucking worry about. Okay, people are out here jogging, period. Man. This is a piece of shit. This place is a piece of shit. I don't know how we ended up slanted. You guys see me? You guys see me anymore? Do I have to like lean back? Yeah, so I guess I'll end it here. I will end it here after we've ended up super slanted somehow. I still have to figure out how to make it stop moving. So thank you guys for listening to my Yap Session. I was hoping the camera would last a little bit longer, but I will see you guys when I get favorite, and we'll record. We're gonna gym. I got us some C4s. I got me a green apple Jolly Rancher, and I got him a pink Starburst because he likes pink and he can see it. So thank you guys for listening, and I will see you on the next one. Peace, love, joy. Psst. So I'm going to leave this recording because I can't reach the record button. So I'm going to see if I could drive like this so I could still be in frame. Even though we're just going to vibe. I'm a little bit hungry. Even though I just ended this episode, I'm going to keep this as like bonus footage after I play the music. Because we used to do that. Do you remember that? You remember when we used to have like things that we would just yap about at the end when it wasn't related to the episode anymore? Hit the music, hit the ads. But now this is just bonus. Gonna see how long I could do this for. We're 3 minutes out. It's about a mile. This is hurting my spine. I won't lie to you. It's not hurting. It's just like extending it in a way where like it could feel good if I just committed to doing it a lot better. But I don't know how the camera shifted this way. This is strange. I think it might have started when I hit that huge ass pothole. I think you can see my back seat a little bit. Please don't look at that. It's a little embarrassing. I've got things back there. I've got my gym bag. So if you've got a car, you would know. Like your back seat's basically like your second closet or your second home. So we're just driving. We're chilling right now. I'm still dehydrated. I've been yapping for like 20-something minutes. 25 minutes to be exact. About things that are current. I might just release this, no clips, just straight on the tubes. No, I'll make a clip. I'll make a clip or two. You know what I'm saying? But Is it still recording? It is still recording. So, this camera, I got a Sony camera. I think it's the A400 or something like that. It was cheap, and it does the podcast stuff pretty good. Like if we've got good lighting, we've got a stationary thing. It's amazing at that. You know, it's its super duper strengths. But what I'm noticing is that what was I gonna say? Fuck, I lost my train of thought. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know where I was going with that. What was I gonna say about the camera? What was I gonna say? Oh, the UI. It's upside down, but the camera doesn't know that, and I feel like there should have been something there to at least like flip the UI. That way, I'm trying to read what it's saying upside down. I know the battery is at like 80 something or 70 something. It could be 80 or 60. I'm not gonna lie, can't tell. It could be that, or I don't know how much hours I have left on my SD card. I did format it though, but it is fucking crooked as fuck right now. So yeah, so I guess this is where I'll officially stop talking, and I'll just try to park and pick up Fabian and drop some stuff off at his crib. But yeah, we're like right here. We're like basically outside, and I gotta call him still. So.